Introducing Han EV from BYD. Since this is a first look video of the car here in Australia, I thought we'll split this into an exterior walk around, an interior view, and we'll look at the user interface as well. Now, I am no design engineer, but I think that BYD has gone for a futuristic front design, a more traditional rear design, gone all in on the chrome detailing, and have settled for a traditional sun or moon roof as opposed to an all-glass roof in the Tesla Model S. The interiors have a sports car look and finish to them, with the red and black seat covers and interior trims. It goes without saying that a right-hand drive model will be available here in Australia and New Zealand once it goes on sale, and BYD is looking to directly sell to customer as opposed to going through a dealership. That's right, this is the proven Tesla business model indeed. Behind the passenger side door on each side are two charge ports. The one on the left is the DC charge port, and they have settled for a CHAdeMO plug in this display vehicle. I wonder if we will get CCS2 here in Australia. Now, despite most of our third-party rapid and ultra-rapid DC fast chargers having both a CHAdeMO as well as a CCS2 adapter, it looks like CCS2 has somewhat won the overall race here. I do understand that this CHAdeMO port used in China has its own standard. Now, the right side charge port accepts a more traditional Type 2 plug for AC charging. In case you're wondering, no, the car does not have a front trunk. And since there was a missing panel, I was able to send my camera into the hood. Now, I am no engineer, so I'll let you lovely folks tell me what we're looking at. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. While you're at it, a sub to the channel will be highly appreciated. This display vehicle did not have a powered trunk, but it was a reasonable sized trunk nevertheless. Right then, before we look at the interiors and the user interface, let's look at some of the overarching attributes of the car as reported by BYD. The long-range version is supposed to have a maximum range of 605 km NEDC with a 0 to 100 km per hour of 3.2 seconds. There is a forward-wheel drive version with a powertrain of 163 kilowatts, whereas the all-wheel drive long-range version has a 163 kilowatt front and a 200 kilowatt rear powertrain. There are two battery packs on offer. A 65 kWh battery pack is for the forward-wheel drive powertrain, whereas a 77 kWh battery services the all-wheel drive version. BYD says that it has adopted the highly efficient MOSFET power electronics for its inverter, a blade battery with a lithium iron phosphate chemistry, and a cell-to-pack or CTP version. Now, this, according to the company, supposedly gives the DC fast charging quite a boost, with a 30 to 80% time of 25 minutes, and a mere 10-minute charge is touted to give you 135 kilometers of NEDC range. The car has a drag coefficient of 0.233, and these are the dimensions of the car. Now, the 65 kWh battery gives you a range of 506 kilometers NEDC, whereas the 77 km long-range battery gives a range of 605 kilometers. Now let's look at the interiors. The first thing that catches our eye is this horizontally oriented central dash screen like in the Model 3 and in the refreshed Model S and Model X. But hey, it doesn't stop there. One software button touch and the screen turns to the vertical or portrait orientation. Super cool indeed. I know it's pretty gimmicky, but hey, some people do like their gimmicks. Now don't forget that this can be a potential mechanical point of failure, but it's still pretty cool. Now let's look at the user interface. To me, it looks like a large Android tablet with some custom elements and submenus thrown in to operate different features of the car. As you can see, the screen is reasonably responsive and has a card-style presentation to various apps. I'm sure the various default apps and the default maps will change for the Australian setup. Coming from the Tesla world, I found these menus and submenus quite tedious to use in the few minutes that I spent in the car because I was used to a more minimalist design language of Tesla. But hey, most car makers out there have something like this as the user interface for their infotainment system, but in my humble opinion, the Tesla interface is far superior and more futuristic. Now this is one more gimmick, but a cool one at that. The front dash has multiple LED lights embedded behind them, and the color of those lights can be changed from this submenu. So this sort of sets up the ambient mood lighting of the car. A gimmick, but a cool one nevertheless. There was a submenu which said D-Pilot, which seemed like a glorified traffic-aware cruise control and some lane keeping abilities. I doubt if it's anything as sophisticated as the autopilot in the Teslas, but this needs to be tested once we get the full version of the car here in Australia. When the reverse gear is engaged, the car gives a panoramic view with ability to switch between various cameras around the car. We as EV users are more interested in the energy side of things, and this submenu gave most of those details. This demo car had done 869 kilometers with a total battery consumption of 22.6 kilowatt hour per 100 kilometer. This shows that this probably is a more thirsty car and the battery efficacy is not as good as, say, a Tesla Model S. Now the reason why I mention this is because BYD seems to be pitting this against the Tesla Model S, and they call this a Tesla killer. We've heard that before, haven't we? We know that Tesla rules the roost with regards to battery efficacy, even with the existing older technology 1650 and 2170 battery cells. Once the 4680 cells hit volume production, I'm sure they're going to hit this out of the park. Now having seen this is my humble opinion. Shape of a car, interior and exterior styling of a car are matters of individual taste and preferences, but Tesla's superior battery technology and the vast network of superchargers to support that is bar none at this time. Now moving on to the interiors. This version of the car boasts a Dirac sound system. For people who do not know, Dirac is a Swedish company making highly specialized speakers and sound systems, and the audio quality in the car was fabulous. The center console had a traditional mechanical air vent system for the hatchback, gear selector, parking brake, and a couple of scroll wheels to access various menus in the car, and storage space. As I made mention before, the car has a traditional moonroof. Now let's jump into the rear seat. Rear seat also has a large center console, making it effectively a 4-seater car, but there are cool touches like a second screen here for controlling few of the elements of the car. It's not as responsive as the front screen, as you can see, and I hope BYD will highly consider changing this out for a more responsive screen for the Aussie and New Zealand production version. Now that's all folks, thank you very much for watching. Now what do you guys think? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Will this be something that you will be interested to look at? Do you like this interior and exterior design language? Is the lack of a frunk that important to you? And is efficacy and range as important to you as most of us tout it to be? I'd like to know all of your thoughts, and I do reply to all of my comments. While you're at it, a sub to the channel will be highly appreciated. I'll see you guys in another interesting video very soon. Until then, this is Nash from Tesla in the Gong, signing off. Peace.